to Citizen Business Center. Now, it's nearly a decade since the Youth Enterprise Development Fund was established. Its aim then was to ease access to credit for young people that may not be able to obtain loans from formal financial institutions. Tonight, we're hosting the chairman of the Youth Fund, Bruce Odhiambo, to get a feel of what the fund has achieved so far and what it takes to access funding from the state-run fund. But before we get into that interview, let's hear from two young people that have been able to get loans from the Youth Fund.
I'm Sylvia Mbungu, the owner of Seal Catering Services and Florist Limited. We are situated in town at Kagen House, 4th floor opposite the Leafs, SYL Events, and we normally offer all services of weddings. We are a one-stop shop in the wedding industry, and we've been on for the past 5 years. When it comes to youth funds, a friend told me about it, and since I was looking for money to pump into the business, I decided I should go for it, go find out about it, and it's when I realized that I can be able to gather money. Other places you can go and you'll be told you can even be given maybe a maximum of 500, but their maximum amount is 2 million, and I decided to go for the 2 million. Their interest is so good because it's at 8%, so I decided to go for the maximum to be able to expand my business. The greatest challenge in getting the youth funds was getting the documents together, whatever they needed to be able to fund you with the money. They were looking for like invoices, statements, receipt books. That is what mostly they were looking at. And if you have any other document that can be able to back up you getting all that money and being able to pay the money back. I think there are people who are scared of getting loans. There are people who do not have the documents that are needed for the funds. But I advise them to at least look around, get the right information, and be able to go try your luck.
Kwa majina yangu naitwa Laban Gitao, ama kwa jina ya kibiashara na watu wananiita Kitale Millers, kwa sababu hiyo ndio kazi yenye huwa nafanya ya kutengeneza unga, milling. Kuna wakati nilikuwa nahitaji kununua mashini moja yenye inafanya kazi ya milling, and at the same time inaweza fanya kazi ya kutengeneza chakula ya kuku ama ya ng'ombe. So nilikuwa nahitaji hiyo mashini na sikuwa na pesa. Nikasikia kuna pesa yenye wanapatiana za youth fund kwa youth. So nikafuatilia, nikasikia kweli hizo pesa ziko. Nilienda kwa ofisi zenyewe huko kwetu Maragwa na nikapata forms, nikajaza, na baada ya kujaza nikarudisha kwa ofisi. Within no time nikarudishwa barua, wamekubali kunipatia hiyo pesa. So hiyo pesa wakati niliipata, nilienda direct nikanunua hiyo machine, of which sasa kazi yangu watu wanaleta mahindi ya unga, mwingine analeta mahindi yenye nataka kutengeneza wa chakula ya kuku. Hiyo machine inafanya hiyo kazi na tayari iko hapa Mkoyo inafanya kazi. So nimeona hiyo pesa imenisaidia zaidi.
So those are some of the success stories that people are sharing regarding how they were able to access funding from the Youth Fund. And of course, like you say, the chairman, Bruce Odhiambo, joins us in studio. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. Before we get into some of the questions people are asking, maybe off the bat you can start by telling us how much does the revolving fund currently hold? Are you allowed to share that information?
Nah.
Yes, you are.
There's an office. Yeah. I mean, the thing is, there's an office now. That's the management office that has all that information and what it's doing with the youth fund and things like that. Okay. They're the ones who actually have the right to do that. Okay.
And a lot of people, and we should just get straight into this, are asking how do they apply for the loans?
These things are actually not rocket science. Straightforward. The thing is, if you go to the youth fund or you go online, you can actually apply for these loans. And what we're trying to do is make it easier and more accessible. Like even go on a shortcode and apply with it. I mean, like if you go to *252# you should be able to access how to apply the loan there. So those are the kind of things we're trying to put in place so that it's very, very straightforward.
Yeah. I was going to say the idea of a shortcode is great because not everyone may have access to the internet. So if you have it on your mobile phone. And then what are some of the terms that you use in selecting these beneficiaries?
What happens is it's easier. You see, these things are loans, they're not grants. So it's just the way you can go and try and access funds anywhere. You'll find some obstacles if you don't have collateral. So if you're in a group, it gets a bit easier because you're each other's security. You see that? So if you come in a group of 5, 10, 15, you might find it a bit easier. But if you come a lot of young people just want, please give me $1 million, and then there's no collateral.
Yeah.
It becomes a bit difficult for the management or for the fund, because this money has to be paid back so that it can benefit other youth as well.
So if you're one person, it's not that it's impossible,
no,
it just becomes difficult.
Yeah, no, if you've got collateral, let's say you've got a title deed or you've got something like security, it becomes straightforward actually.
All right.
Yes.
And then a lot of people have said they haven't been hearing much about it, so there's a sense that there isn't enough civic education across counties about the youth fund. Have you been getting some of those complaints, and what are you doing about it?
Yes, there has been complaints, but you see, one of the complaints is, or one of the challenges we're facing is, we don't have that much money also. You see, that kind of thing. It's a youth fund, and we're really trying to work on trying to get a lot of money to be able to reach a lot of people. But definitely we are well represented in every constituency in the country, and we were represented from over 14 regions as well. So we're well represented. But how it can reach, what we're trying to do right now is almost make it devolved, so that the loans can actually be approved in regions, and also in constituency level.
So that's not the case right now. That's what you're working on.
That's not the case right now, because the main office is actually in Nairobi. You see, that kind of thing. So even if you apply in the regions, the forms have to come here. You see, those kind of things. That's what we're trying to.
So, okay, if someone is out there not in Nairobi, like you said, the forms have to come to Nairobi. But in terms of follow-up, in fact, there's a text here from Ronald in Kisii who's saying, how can we get information in terms of following up on our loan application? They're saying there's a few challenges with that.
Yes, one of the things we're doing with the USSD code is going to help that, so that you can actually, once you know that you're given a code, and you can actually follow step by step where it is at. Everything, what we're trying to do is, you've seen we've got a new website, and we've got everything is set in place, and a lot of things in place, so that hopefully by end of the year, we've got a lot of these things in place. And then next year they can just roll out.
They can roll out. Before we continue, we want to go a little bit more into some of the other work that's been done. We have some people online as well. We understand that they're about to get a hold of a few people. We'd asked you to call in live to ask your questions to the chairman, so we'll get to that in a bit. We hear much more about Uwezo Fund. Some people say, has it overshadowed the youth fund? Where does the work of the youth fund end, and where does that of the Uwezo Fund begin? What would you want to say about that?
I'm not you see, the thing is this, you try and use all your fingers to hold a glass. So the issue is not this one is longer and this one is shorter and things like that. Uwezo Fund is doing its job just to facilitate for the youth. In fact, the youth should be happier that there are more avenues or more vehicles. It's not about who's overshadowing who or who's louder than who.
But are there synergies?
Yes, of course there has to be synergies. Because what happens, you find there are areas which the youth fund is stronger, or they're gone deeper, and there are areas where Uwezo Fund is doing a lot of things. And also I think right now the government is trying to put in place a way how to get all these funds work or speak with one voice.
What are some of the more attractive sectors do you think would be wise for people to access loans for? Or what have you seen a lot of people come to take out loans for?
One of the strongest is actually LPO financing is doing very well. Because LPO financing, we're financing our LPO loans up to 25 million. You see, that kind of thing. So if you get an LPO with a government body or a known body, you see, it becomes pretty straightforward, because this is money that will help you, and it's easy to come back and things like that. So you have to be also registered with AGPO and things like that.
All right, we'll come back to that. We understand there's Jonjo on the line. Jonjo, thank you for calling into Citizen Business Center. What's your question?
My question is, why did the youth fund guys push away Ambian company which was offering greenhouse products?
Sorry, go on.
Okay, why did they push away Amiran product? And they came up with another company which is exploiting the youth. Amiran was 358 and for greenhouse. All right, thank you. The other company is more than 400,000.
All right, thank you for your question. You'd like to answer that?
Yes, sure. What happens is nobody is in a position forever. There's a contract and there's a period. You see, that kind of thing. So when the period elapses, you have to get also somebody else. And the challenges that always come, somebody saying mine is more cheaper, mine is more expensive, but somebody who wins the tender is somebody who gets a job, you understand? But the truth is, when I came in, Amiran has just been, their contract had just elapsed, and the new people came in to do that kind of thing. So probably some people are favorable with Amiran. We can't say that this is a better water than this other water. Why did you get rid of this water? But they're all trying to help the youth.
Okay.
Yes.
All
if
right.
there are challenges, we're really trying to help see so that we can tackle the challenges.
There's a number you gave earlier.
Yes.
Is
252.
it 252?
Yes.
Okay.
Star 252 hash.
Star 252 hash. There's a lot of people calling in for that, and this is to get information.
It's to get information. It's basically a short code so that you can soon, hopefully by end of the year, you can even apply for a loan through that.
Okay.
Or you can follow your loan through that as well.
Okay, so it's star 252 hash.
Yes.
We'll be able to scroll it for our viewers a little later on. Another call in, Minor from Limuru. Thank you for calling in to Citizen Business Center. What's your question?
Yeah, I was asking if one wants to add a stock of the business.
I'm sorry, could you ask that again?
I'm asking if one wants to add more fund to the business.
Okay.
I'm asking
Yes.
if one wants to add more stock to business.
Oh, add more stock for business.
Oh, add more stock for business.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank
How
you for your
will that
question.
money be channeled?
Okay.
The most important thing, of course, is the collateral. If you think the existing stock is your collateral, because we've got officers who will come and see your existing stock, and if they think it's a business that needs to be supported, it will be supported. Yes.
Are people given this information once the application is successful? Because it sounds like people, you know, don't know the follow-through or sustainability aspect of it, and so they come back and say, what if I want to do this or add on to that? I think those are questions that they should ask off the bat.
Yes, I mean they're told, but you see also what we're trying to do right now. We're trying to, one of the biggest things or challenges maybe that was there is communication, because it's mentoring these people and talking to them and you know, that kind of thing, and how to go about it, what's the first step and the next step. But you see, like everybody else, you get excited. Immediately you want a glass, you want to go fast. You don't ask a lot of questions.
Yeah. So then you come back and you're wondering, what if this and this?
Yes,
this is from Winnie from Kisumu. This is an SMS, and she says, despite having a functional shop for a year, the Youth Fund official said I didn't qualify for the minimum 100,000 shillings unless I had been banking not less than 10,000 shillings monthly and a guarantee, e.g. a title deed or a car logbook. In June, we were told the fund is no more. Please assist. So some of the questions that are coming in.
No. The fund is, I mean, that's not true. Which means, what's her name?
Winnie from Kisumu.
Winnie, if you are told the fund is no more, looks like even a lot of information that you are given might not be true. And we have a lot of people who probably communication is not the best thing. But we've got a website that you can communicate with us direct. And also, we've got a very open door policy. If there's a problem, you can just come to the Nairobi offices. But we've got people regional there who we visit a lot. You see, that kind of thing. And we can be able to.
And just repeat this before we take another phone call. You say that if you're in Nairobi, you can easily visit the offices.
Yes.
If you're outside Mombasa, Kisumu, Kisii.
There are regional offices everywhere.
All right,
and
that's good.
There are constituency officers in every constituency.
All right. Mugo from Gatundu has called in as well. Thank you for calling, and what's your question? Mugo, are you on the line?
Yeah, I'm on the line.
Okay, please ask your question.
I just want to know about Gatundu. Yeah. Nilikuwa nikikaa kujua ya kwamba kwa sababu watoto hiyo pande ya yule haijafika. Nilikuwa nikitaka kujua vile inaendelea kwa sababu tunajaza mafomu. Alafu inapotelea haijaenda kama ofisi. Yeah.
Okay. I think he's all right. Thank you so much for that. I think he's, from what I gathered, he was saying, first of all, how to access it from where he is, and I think you've already mentioned that. And then also, applying. He feels like the application process doesn't go through. He said you fill out a form and then you don't really hear back from anyone.
Okay, he's saying probably zinapotelea kwa ofisi.
Yeah.
Which is one of the things we're saying. With a short code, it should be able to help people like Inamunga. You see that kind of thing. People who are not exactly cannot access internet, because the website will help a lot in this kind of problems, cut out all these forms and things like that, and also the shortcode can help. But as much as that is not an excuse, because we're trying to make sure that even the regional offices should be able to reach people like
you're trying to streamline. I understand that some people are struggling accessing the shortcode. They're saying it's either they can't reach it or they can't access it. So put you on the spot. All right, as you and then of course the age limit, is it still 18 to 35?
Yes.
18 to 35.
Yes.
Okay. Has it gone through?
In 1 minute.
You're checking. All right.
The age limit is 18 to 34 actually. Yes.
18 to 34.
Yes.
All right. Let's not ignore the fact that the Youth Fund has been in the past rocked by scandal. If I can highlight a few, it was rocked by 300 million shilling scandal in 2009, and then Umuro Wario, who served as the first Youth Fund CEO in 2009, was suspended over irregularities in financial and recruitment and procurement. Have you had to come in to a body that has been bedeviled by a lot of sort of allegations of corruption, and what have you done to try and steer it away from that reputation?
You know, the thing is, I cannot come in, or we cannot come in and start pondering on what problems the fund had before. As much as somebody would say that the fund had a lot of problems before, the fund has actually disbursed over 9 billion to over 1.3, 1.4 million youth. You see that kind of thing for that period. So it's done. A few people probably didn't do well at the fund, or maybe came in with a totally wrong agenda. But we can't just say the youth fund is going to be judged as for other people's mistakes. The most important thing is, where are we going to take the fund from here? What do we want to do with the fund from here going on?
What would you want to say to people who have, in a sense, they're jaded and they've lost confidence in the Youth Fund just based on the number of allegations that have been leveled against them, and right now they feel like there was that corruption allegation, there was this scandal, you've now come in as the chair. What would you want to say to just restore confidence in people?
What we're trying to do is the way also the open door policy that we have at the Youth Fund right now, which means anybody can come in and ask questions, and anybody can come in and we try and make it easier for them. You see, that kind of thing. That's one of the most important things, so that you can track all the questions, ask questions like what he was asking about Amiran. You see, that kind of thing. We'll try and put those papers down for you. We say, this is the Amiran contract, this is this contract, this is the reason this one was followed, and things like that. And that does mean that we're not going to do business with the people we did business before with, but it also gives opportunity to other people also who are supplying the same kind of thing. And also, just because you supply greenhouses doesn't mean you're the only person who's going to supply greenhouses for everybody else.
Okay. All right, fine. Okay, I think we've run out of time, but you say the info is the short code?
I'll send it to you. Well, it's *252# *252#. Yes.
All right.
Just try it. That's exactly why we've not gone public with this.
Okay.
And that's why we've not said this. But by end of the year, all these kind of things will be there.
Okay. But presently, you said, I know it doesn't give any. You can't really apply for a loan, but you can get information in terms of criteria, information about the fund and everything.
And also, you can put my phone number is easy. My Twitter handle, you can go there and ask me questions anytime when you're stuck.
All right, I think we'll take those details. And I don't know about your number. I don't know if you want us to release your phone number, but maybe a line, an office line or Twitter handle.
Yes.
All right. Still, obviously, so many questions we would have loved to ask, but thank you for making time to come and talk to us and answering questions from the public. Bruce Odhiambo there, the chairman of the Youth Enterprise Development Fund. Stay with Citizen Business Center. We'll be back after this break.
All right.